2 appeals, not one single lawsuit, 2 appeals, and they were both settled out of court whenever the plan revision took place. Now, to talk a little bit about the proposed area in the Monongahela National Forest, and you all have seen the map. I'm going to jump back and forth here. By the way, anything I refer to, anything I put up on that screen tonight, all these talking points, I will email you every single map, every single thing I say, and you can use it any way that you want, and my name is signed to it. And let me tell you why I'm confident in telling you you can do that. I want you to do me a favor. Anytime you have the opportunity to hear Michael Costello or one of the proponents of this national monument speak, I want you to ask yourself a question. 2 words. Is that a fact or is that subjective? When we were at the meeting over here the other night, time and time again, until I was almost obtrusive. And I didn't want to be obtrusive. I said, give me an example. It's a set of values. It's a set of values. It's for the future. Give me an example, a specific example. And what did he finally say? End all active timber sales on the forest.
Industrial logging.
Remove industrial logging. That was the example he gave. Every single thing in print, every single thing you hear, no facts, all subjective. Touchy-feely, collaborative, we're all going to work together. Everything I tell you, don't believe me, look it up or say, where'd you get that? Fact. And that's black and white. So you feel free to use anything, I'll send you everything that I got. But when you listen to what he says, just listen to concepts and theories and thoughts and feelings and values. You know, that don't feed the bulldog. You know, facts are facts. I'm a scientist. I work on facts, and that's just the way it is. The proposed area, 35% of that is privately owned mineral rights. 4.1%. Excuse me, let me back up. Well, the Monongahela National Forest, the whole forest, about 38% of the area is privately owned mineral rights. That means that there is possibly a landholding company or a private entity that holds the rights to those minerals, either subsurface or surface. Everybody's probably familiar with that as much as, you know, in this part of the world. The majority,
on the National Forest?
Pardon me, sir?
That's on the National Forest?
Yes, that's on the MON, 38%, and that's in the Forest Plan, page 111-11 if you need it. 38% is privately owned. The majority of the proposed area that we're talking about up here is in prescription 4.1. 4.1 is spruce and spruce hardwood restoration. Y'all been up there, it's a bunch of spruce trees, black and white. Now, 62% of all of the 4.1 prescription on the forest is privately owned mineral rights. Is everybody with me? Hold that thought for a second. So, let me just give you some food for thought and a talking point. 20% of the world is dead set against this thing. Hopefully, we're in that 20%. Another 20% is dead set for it, and that's Michael Costello and his supporters and the proponents. The other 60% are hearing things and thinking things like, well, you know, this will end the possibility for gas and oil exploration or fracking on that area. Now here's a map, and like I said, any of this you want, I'll email it to you. You have a copy for your very own. The only thing, well, this is the whole proposed, most of the proposed area. Here's their map. You can see the green. These lines, every line you see, all of that area is privately owned mineral rights. And if we look at the big map, this is the original Cranberry Wilderness right here before the expansion. Everything, all gray, all yellow, everything but the green is privately owned mineral rights. So it's not going to make a hill of beans if you make a national monument. And I can prove that, black and white. Once again, let's get away from the subjective stuff. We got a letter here from the Forest Service that was sent to Nolan Irvin. Here's an excerpt. It says, similarly, national monuments explicitly preserve all valid existing rights and do not enlarge or diminish existing jurisdiction of any state wildlife and fisheries management agency, which means the DNR will still manage the wildlife. And similarly, national monuments explicitly preserve all valid existing rights. All private mineral rights will be honored. So a lot of people I'm talking to are saying, you know, it may be a good idea because they'll never frack up there. Well, it don't matter to me what side of the fracking issue you're on. I'm just saying is that the facts are that almost 80 to 85% of the proposed area is privately owned mineral rights. So then the other comment I hear is, well, that's fine. We'll just work for a congressional delegation to purchase the mineral rights. Well, we know what that'll cost, but who knows? So here's the deal on purchasing mineral rights. Even if the Forest Service were to get the money to purchase the mineral rights, they're so sure that they don't want to take anybody to the cleaners, they would have to establish the value of those mineral rights. So that means that they would have to go in and do core drilling and sampling on 600 to 3,200 foot intervals in this entire area to establish a fair market value, which would be 10 times more obtrusive than if you opened the whole thing up to ATVs. I mean, think about it. So that's the fact on that. Now, looking back at this, here's one that you'll love. If you're kind of missing a part of wilderness here, this is the wilderness expansion from the 2006 plan. Most of you remember that well. Those are privately owned mineral rights. The only difference is that those have been heavily drilled or core sampled, and there's a lot of data there, which basically made the congressional delegation think that there was a lot less chance of there being any type of, work in the future. That means it's not going to happen because it's still privately owned, but, like I said, there it is. This is a Forest Service map that they sent me. This is public information, and I'll share it with anybody. Now, some of the talking points from the proponents.